only 2 or 3 weeks after I promised I would have a video out every week, and I already broke that promise. But I do have reasons for that, although I hope they don't sound like excuses, but they probably will. But I had a lot of schoolwork to do, and I was also like, I had a lot of different random health issues these past 2 weeks. So yeah, I haven't been really in the mood to record anything new or like put any of the pre-recorded stuff I have. I don't know, I didn't like what I had recorded previously, so I wasn't gonna put out something I wasn't halfway proud of, so yeah. But hello YouTube, it is me, Bergie, and I'm here with the Halloween book review special. Yeah. I don't know, kind of from when I first started doing this YouTube, I knew I wanted to do like something for Halloween. I wanted to read like a horror or thriller kind of book. So I was really into that. And I got a book, which I'll tell you what it is in a little bit, although you can read just by the title of this video. But anyway, I had this one book picked out that I wanted to read. It took me forever to get. I wanted to initially get it from the library, but I couldn't find it. And then also, by the time I went to the library, I was like leaving home in like less than a week, and I was not going to be able to finish that book by the time I left for school. So I ended up buying it, and then I started reading it, I think maybe a week or two after I got here, and I only just finished it literally like not even an hour ago. I don't know what it is when you see this, but I'm filming on Halloween. Hopefully this will be up on Halloween. I literally just finished it on Halloween, and I'm recording on Halloween. But yeah, it just was really slow going, and I'll get into that in a little bit. But just as a preface, I am not much of a horror thriller kind of person. Thriller more so I can deal with, but horror, nah. I can get either one of two ways with anything horror related. Either one, I over talk about it, especially with movies. I'm really bad with it. Like I talk constantly, trying to like be like, oh no, that's fake. That oh, he's just being stupid. He deserved dying or whatever. So I either over talk just annoyingly, or I just get scared shitless, and like I get paranoid for days on end. Like I can't sleep at night because I'm like thinking, holy crap, there's horror all around me, something's gonna get me, which is not fun. So I'm not particularly fond of horror stuff, although sometimes I do enjoy it, but definitely not by myself. I realized with this book I couldn't read it before bed because I would get so scared and paranoid. So I had to read it during the day, which is part of the reason why it took me so long to finish it. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into the book. So I thought the best way to delve into horror, thriller, and that kind of stuff, especially for the first time, I haven't really read much horror or thriller. Some thrillers, but like they weren't like full on like Halloween kind of scary. They were just like freaky. Although this isn't really scary. It is, but yeah, I'll get into that. But yeah, I thought Stephen King would be the perfect author to jump into horror thriller stuff. So I picked out the I would think the most known of his thriller horror stuff, and I picked up The Shining. Now, I'm not going to really talk much about the movie, except right now saying that I don't know if I watched it all the way through. I think I might have, but it would have been years and years ago. So I didn't really remember it that much. Of course, I knew the basics behind it. It's at a hotel in Colorado, and there's some kind of like spirit thing, ghosts, whatever, that kind of turn things to shit. And that it's a dad, a mom, and their kid. Dad is Jack Nicholson, who I thought was a really good portrayal of the character he played from the book, Jack Torrance. Um, and yeah, that there's red rum and the kid just like red rum all over the place, and that the dad likes breaking down doors and saying, "Here's Johnny." But that's literally all I remember, which is just like normal pop culture knowledge, at least for the US. But yeah, so I didn't really know exactly how it was going to play out. I knew the basics, I just didn't know the finer details, which I liked because then I could get more scared by the book. But yeah, I don't know if I'll go and watch the movie immediately, like after I finish watching or recording this, because like I said, I'd probably be scared shitless. I'm scared shitless by the book, so movie where it's a visual and I can see it like happening in like real time, it's not gonna go well for me, not at all. But yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about the movie. I think. Um, the book, even though it was scary, I couldn't not scary. Okay, should say it's not particularly scary. There's no like clear horror kind of thing where you expect like there's a murderer just going around and stuff, or like ghosts and paranormal stuff. There is some of that, but for me, it seemed more of like a mind freak kind of thing. So it kind of messed with your mind and psychological stuff, which is, I think, a little bit more scary and freaky. So it's not like outright gory. There is a lot of gore in it, but it's not focused on that. It's more focused on the mind tricks and stuff. Not tricks, but like psychological kind of stuff. Can't explain it very well, apparently, but yeah. Thought it was a great book, even though I don't like being scared or freaked out or paranoid and that kind of stuff. But I did think it was very well written. I mean, of course, Stephen King, he's well known. Of course, it's gonna be very well written and a great book. But yeah, it was. It was great. I thought it was really good, and I thought it was a great way to get into Stephen King. So I definitely am gonna try to read more of his books at least once a year. I'm not gonna go full on like horror mode and like freak myself out all at once. I'm gonna try to space them out because I don't think my brain can handle too much of that at once. Yeah, if you have not read this book, and if you haven't watched the movie, or even if you did watch the movie, I would say to pick this book up. It is really good, especially if you're trying to get yourself ready for Halloween. Although Halloween is today, so I mean, unless you can read it all in one day, it's pretty pointless now, unless you just want to read it for fun. But yeah, I just rambled, but it was a good book. I do recommend it, but if you're like me and can't take horror that or thriller that much, don't read it before you go to bed or in the dark. Read it when there's like light out, and watch like something funny afterwards, so that way you're not focused on the horror of this. But yeah, that's pretty much all the non-spoiler things I'm going to talk about. It's not really going to be spoilers because I mean there is a movie, and the movie is, I think, when was it made? I don't remember when it was made. I want to say the 80s, 90s maybe. I don't know. But yeah, so if you most people probably have watched the movie, and I mean, I'm guessing it goes close to the plot line as possible. I don't know. I don't remember the full movie, but I thought it was really good, especially if you love horror and thrillers and mind playing books. Then I definitely recommend this. And I feel like Stephen King is just an author you have to read at some point in your life. He's one of those like classic authors. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. Into the spoilery kind of stuff. The good thing about this book is it starts creepy, like it's creepy from the start, and it keeps on getting creepier. The thing is though, like in the beginning, it's kind of like, oh, okay, this is just a little bit weird. what's happening. I mean, it's nothing too bad. It's not freaking me out. And then it just like completely increases from there. It's just holy crap. It just goes downhill, tumbles, rolls. I don't even know what I'm saying. I just it just kept on getting creepier as you got on. Danny, the boy, the little kid who's in the movie going red rum all the time, or that's like the scene kind of associated with him. He's clairvoyant, which I didn't know in the beginning. I just thought he got crazy and just could see the ghosts, which I guess is what clairvoyant means, but I mean, I thought everybody in the movie could see that, but it was just him. He was the focal point for all that stuff. He could not necessarily tell the future, but know things that were happening that he should not know about. Like he knows it exactly when it happens. So I didn't realize that's what was his deal. So that was pretty cool and creepy in itself because he's only like 6 years old. So he's like not talking to dead people per se, but he has this little friend who I don't know if it was himself we find later on because his name is Tony and the kid's name is Daniel Anthony Torrance, and like it suggested something about I don't know. I don't really get what Tony was about. Like it seems like it was hinting at something with Tony. I don't know if I was just like not smart enough to grasp it or if because I've been reading it for like over a month, I just didn't connect it as much because of the kind of gaps between my reading. But it seemed like either Tony was like a brother that had died beforehand or it was part of Danny himself. I don't really know. But yeah, so that was interesting and something I didn't know from hearing about the movie and stuff. And also, like, I can relate to him because he overthinks himself, like, overthinks different situations all the time and scares himself. Later, we can see that he's really not overthinking at all and that shit is really happening to him. But in the beginning, at least, he is really adding more stress and anxiety to himself, which is something I can really relate to. I get paranoid a lot and I get really stressed out, especially from schoolwork, so I know where he's coming from. Yeah, a lot in the beginning, he seemed to create a lot of his scaredness. What would be the proper adjective there? His paranoia, I guess. I don't know. He just creates a lot of it, and like I don't know. He could have avoided a lot of like stress and scaredness. What is that adjective that goes for that? Scaredness, afraidness. No, none of those are working. It's not coming to me. It's probably gonna come to me later after I record this, and I'll be like, oh, stupid. It's right. It's something I should know, but it's not coming to me. Now, when they get to the Overlook Hotel and they're by themselves, I can understand why, even without all the spirits or whatever the entity of the Overlook Hotel is that gets into them, without that, they'd probably go insane as it is. Because, I mean, they all have three very bad downfalls or traits to them that kind of could spiral out of control and just plain isolation itself without anything else going on. Because, Jack, he has a lot of rage. He has anger issues. The wife, which Wendy, her name is Wendy, she has a lot of doubt for her husband. She doesn't really trust him that much, which is totally founded because he freaking has, through his rage, he's broken Danny's arm. He beat up a kid for slashing his tires, like full on beat up the kid who was a lot of years younger than him, and just stuff like that. He drinks, he drank, and would get like completely just nasty during his drinking bouts when he was drunk. And then of course Danny, just his clairvoyance and curiosity, I think, because he would use his clairvoyance. Like, at first it would come to him, but then he would make it happen. Do you get what I'm saying? So he kind of searched that out because of his curiosity. So that was kind of his downfall as well. But with all of that, they probably would have died anyway. I mean, they didn't die in the book, but they would have had a bad ending, no matter what, even if they didn't have to worry about the Overlook spirits or whatever. Because, I mean, they were in a hotel in Colorado during the winter months, which I've never been to Colorado in the winter, but I can imagine how bad it gets because, I mean, I live in kind of mountains, not as big as the Rockies, no, definitely not, but like when we get bad snow, when we used to get bad snow, it could be really bad. So I imagine in the Rockies it would be so much worse, and like they'd be trapped. They were trapped basically from like November to I think February or something in the hotel. They couldn't really go to the next town because it was quite a while away and they were in the middle of the mountains and it would have been dangerous to go down. So yeah, it just, even in that situation without any like paranormal stuff happening, could have ended badly. Which I thought that was very interesting because it shows that they were kind of doomed from the beginning. I really liked how Stephen King describes different angers and like different scared feelings and stuff. It I don't it just like it kind of captured exactly how you would feel in these different situations, because yeah, there are different kinds of anger, there are different kinds of scared. They feel different, and he kind of captured that really well, and I really enjoyed that. And like I said, seeing the three of them kind of slowly get more insane, although they weren't completely insane, they kind of got a little crazy. Seeing that happen to them was really interesting. You kind of saw the process of it happening, and I thought it was really cool, disturbing, but cool. So I really liked that. Yeah, so like I had another couple of questions that didn't really get answered in here. Like, what was Dr. Edmund's deal? He was the doctor who kind of psychiatrist, was he? I don't remember. But he was some kind of doctor who asked Danny about Tony and that kind of stuff. I don't remember exactly, but just his whole thing, he kind of like believed Danny, but then he told his parents that he didn't believe him, that he just went along with it. And then he said something like, oh, you know why Danny's friend is called Tony, right? And the parents were like, yeah, but there's no explanation at that time. And I really don't know if it's because his middle name is Tony or if there was like a brother named Tony or something. I was just really confused about that. Also, when Dick, the cook, first met the Torrance family, he said something in his mind or something about seeing something in Jack. I don't know. It didn't seem like it was The Shining, which is the kind of clairvoyance that both Dick and Danny have. But he said he saw something, and I don't know if it was just the fact that he saw in him the ability for Jack to turn crazy like he did, or if it was that he did have some kind of clairvoyance, but not shining. It was not good. So I don't know. I was really confused about that, and I don't think that fully got explained, unless it is just the fact that he had the capability of starting and feeding the Overlook Hotel entity or whatever. Also, just the whole thing at the end of the book, from the point where Wendy stabs Jack, did Jack actually die there? And then just like a spirit from the Overlook kind of just took over his body? Or was he still alive or something? I don't know. It just completely confused me. I think it said he was dead, and he definitely is dead afterwards because, I mean, the whole Overlook Hotel blew up, so even if he was a little bit alive, he's not anymore. He's gone. But that just kind of confused me as well because in it, Jack, or the entity that's possessing Jack after he was stabbed says, "You bitch, you killed me." I mean, I always thought if you're dead, you can't talk, but I mean, maybe not. That just I might not be in the know with that. Maybe you do talk after you die, but I it just confused me because yeah. Even though this was, like I said, kind of freaky for me to read, um, it had funny bits, and it was not like there were scenes in it that were funny. I just laughed because I have a, like I've said multiple times, I think, I have a mind of like a 12-year-old boy, so I laugh at like curse words and that kind of stuff. And oh my god, the curses in here, at least in the middle part before they get downright like crude, they were just the most random stuff. Like, one of them, what was it? I don't remember. I think it was Jack who said it, but I don't remember the exact scene that surrounded it or context or whatever. But he says, "tough fucking titty." And I remember I was dying laughing during that part because I was like, who curses like that? How can you take someone seriously when they curse like that? Like, when I hear someone curse, I'm like, damn. Like, I get a little scared because there had to be a point that was crossed to make them that angry to curse. Or at least for most people. Some people use it just like every other word is the F word or stuff like that, which I totally, it's okay. But for some people who don't curse at all, which in here, Jack was kind of like, in the beginning, he didn't curse because he wanted to be better for his son because he did kind of screw up with all his drinking and stuff, so he's trying to be better. But then he brings out the curse words, and damn, they were just hilarious. There were probably others, but that was just one of the ones that I was like, I gotta write down because that is just hilarious. Like, who comes up with that tough fucking titty? Like, that, I don't know. I just, my sense of humor right there kind of just describes me. But yeah, like I was saying, the language gets increasingly more crude, and it goes from like being funny to like, damn, I don't want to cross him because he is using the C word and the F word all the time, and it's just like, no, he's angry. Don't want to go there. I was kind of happy that with the ending, I didn't realize that's how it ended. I think the last scene I've ever watched in the movie, or at least that I remember, is that Danny is running outside and his mom is there as well. And I think Jack was running after them. And then for some reason, like, I just imagined this like snow maze. I could be completely wrong, but like I said, I haven't watched the movie in years, so I'm just going off memory, and I don't really have a good memory, so I might be completely off the ball with it. But that's all I remember. So I was happy to see that Wendy and Danny survived. I also didn't know that Dick survived. I always thought he died in the movie, at least, because I think I saw something recently with the most like surprising deaths in movies, and I think this was one of them, where Dick was like completely, like, he was like a ball and freaking Jack batted him or something. He used a croquet mallet or something, but I thought he was dead, but apparently not. At least not in the book. He might have died in the movie. I don't know. But I was happily surprised to find that everybody, except for like Jack, made it out fine. However, I was angry. We didn't find out what happened to the hotel. I'm hoping that it completely just like stopped being in business, and that like that whole site where it was is just like no one goes there anymore. It's like abandoned. But it didn't say, and I never knew, but there is a sequel to this called Doctor Sleep, which I'll probably read. Not anytime soon. Probably I'll wait a year to read it. But hopefully it gets answered in that, because when it did have like little history kind of stuff about the I want to say museum, but it's not a museum, about the hotel, I found that really interesting because even though it was dark a dark history. It was quite interesting to see how it passed down. And I kind of want to know why it started having this bad kind of like aura or something associated with it. Like, what started it? Because it seemed like when the first owner owned it, everything was fine and dandy, but then, like, after World War II or something, it just completely went to shit. I want to know why, and hopefully in the next book that'll be addressed. Because, yeah, like I said, I found all that hotel history kind of intriguing, which, yeah, I want to know more about. And I was kind of sad that they didn't say at the end what happened to it, like if it did go out of business or if the freaking owner, who was a jackass, let me say, if he restarted it, spent all the money to fix it up, and just like went back to business, which I hope it didn't. But yeah, I kind of wish we knew what happened. But of course, there's another book, so maybe it'll be in there. But yeah, I think I rambled enough. I'm gonna have a fun time editing this. So yeah, I hope you guys have a great Halloween. Hope it's not too scary. I'm probably gonna watch a whole bunch of movies today because I'm such a fun person. Probably gonna be Rocky Horror, definitely. Might watch some other movies. Definitely not any scary movies, but yeah, so I'm gonna look forward to that, having some hot chocolate and cookies while watching non-scary Halloween associated movies. Probably only gonna watch Rocky Horror because that's tradition for me. But yeah, so yeah, have a great Halloween, and